Well, good evening to you. It's pretty quiet in the low country in the coastal empire right now. That changes overnight. Cold front out ahead of it. We've got this line of showers, thunderstorms going into middle Georgia right now, southwest Georgia as well. This system has already caused damage near Montgomery, Alabama. Thankfully, it's going to be weakening as it gets closer to us, but we still are going to have rain here for this evening. Now, talking about the threat for severe weather, it's going to be confined west of I-95 here and a marginal risk at that. That's only 1 out of 5 here on the convective outlook scale. So this darker green shade is where you've just got a 1 out of 5 shot of one of these storms actually getting to that severe strength. And I think that if that was really the case, just be for wind gusts that could be 58 to 60 miles an hour. But again, that's a very low end risk here. So not a big thing to worry about, just something to be aware of, especially because of the timing of this. Make sure you have the WTOC weather app downloaded and those alerts turned on. So this is what we're looking at right now. Fair and Fair First Alert Live radar. A couple of these little sprinkly showers are in our western communities right now. I'll give you a closer look at those real quick before I end up timing out this rain for later tonight. Tomb Central, Reedsville up to Oak Park, Vidalia toward Metter here soon. Aaron eventually to Statesboro, Claxton. You're going to be the first to get in on this light rain. This is just enough to dampen the pavement, the roads there on 16, going over toward 280 as well. But the bigger picture is going to be the rain that is moving in back behind that we just looked at, associated with that cold front out ahead of it actually. Now, just briefly want to talk temperatures. This is not the big story here, but noticeably warm today and breezy. Wind gusts 30 miles an hour. We had one of those over in Alba. From the south today, tomorrow it's going to be from a different direction, just as breezy and more noticeable because it's going to be pretty cold. We're going to have a wind chill for most of the day tomorrow, except for a few hours in the afternoon. But even at 7:47 here this evening, still seeing some 70s where we see those light showers. But let's talk about what to expect for tonight, because we're going to have one of these winter cold fronts come through, and since we've got all that moisture, it's warm, low level of the atmosphere, we're going to see these thunderstorms be able to survive a little bit, but they will be weakening as they push toward us. So let's fast forward to 10 o'clock here this evening, still out of the viewing area on the fringes there of our western communities. And notice where you see the reds, the oranges, that's where you're going to have the heavier rain embedded within those thunderstorms. That's also where you have the best chance for lightning. Fast forward now to about 11:30. It's weakening a little bit, not a solid red, orange, yellow line. Some breaks in this for sure. Embedded heavier rain moving further inland, moving out of Coffee County in south central Georgia into southeast Georgia. And this is really whenever we could see a stronger storm would be in this time frame, really going to be more so between 11 and 1 in the morning. After that, it kind of moves into a more unfavorable atmosphere. So 1 o'clock here, still seeing this line moving into Hampton County, down through Pembroke, down to Jessup, all the way down to Waycross as well. You can see that slant to it as it pushes off toward the east. Now, as it's timed out currently, make it along I-95 at about 2 o'clock in the morning. Could there still be some lightning thunder with this? Of course, it could, but the severe threat is going to be diminishing a little bit as we get closer to the coast here. And then by about 3, some lingering showers here along the coast, especially up in the low country, Beaufort County over to Jasper County, Hampton County starting to clear out. But most of this rain will then be moving offshore. What happens after that? Well, there are going to be a couple lingering light showers back behind it, kind of like the ones that are preceding this, and then the wind direction changes. We're going to really cool down, and we're really going to notice that wind in the morning as well. So that's the timing of the rain. If I didn't get to your specific town, I will answer those questions individually after the video is over on Facebook. I will go through and give you guys those answers, but wanted to just give you kind of a overall storm risk. Western communities by 3, offshore by 11. Biggest threat here is just going to be the heavier rainfall. So more of a rain event. Yeah, there's going to be a little bit of lightning. Should be diminishing as it gets closer to us. Gusty wind, still a low end risk here as well. Probably in the range of 40 to 45 tops, and that's just going to be 1 or 2 communities. Most of us under 30 miles an hour with this wind, with the rain tonight, and then lightning, low, tornadoes, even lower than this icon shows. It's just a very small risk. There actually haven't been any tornadoes for a while with this, and it's not entering an atmosphere that's really favorable for it, but it's still a low-end risk nonetheless. So I mentioned the rainfall is going to be a bigger impact with this, and what we're seeing here would be anywhere from 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch. Some of these data plots here picking up a little bit higher than that. I think it's moving too fast, so it's not getting a good grasp on future rain totals. I'm really thinking 1/4 to 1/2 inch. It's going to just move through. You probably just have the rain for less than 2 hours, so hard to get much more than half an inch unless you're really under one of those embedded thunderstorms. Now, what about that cold air? So we've gotten through the rain, we've gotten through the storm risks and the timing. Now let's turn the attention to cold air, because that's what's going to dominate us coming up on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So right now, enjoy this warm weather while you can. Mostly in the 60s here in South Carolina and Georgia, at least for our areas. But back behind that cold front, easy to spot it. You've got that cold blast of air here coming on in, and it's going to arrive closer to sunrise is when some of our western communities are going to start feeling that colder air. Along the coast, waking up at sunrise, not really going to feel all that different yet. Afternoon, evening, by Sunday, yeah, sure, it's going to be much colder for us. Just giving you a look at what's to come here. You can see that this would be your cold front, low pressures in this area, warm fronts up here. So sandwiched in between that is this warm sector, and that's where we're at right now. So let's take a look at those temperatures as we go through the rest of this evening, overnight going into tomorrow. Still at 1 in the morning, when some of the rain's already moving in, temperatures still feeling like the 60s for some of us. Now, in the morning, we're going to start seeing these wind chills go down 40s, 30s for some folks inland. Most of us going to be feeling pretty chilly, though, out there, especially by the afternoon. So, other good news is that Sunday, it's going to be clear. Something that is favorable for us because, hey, we've got something going on, and that is an eclipse. Now, this is timed out for Savannah. Really not a big difference in timing depending on where you're at here in the low country of the coastal empire. And it's going to begin at 10:33, and this is Sunday night. Eclipse begins at 11:41, and then the bulk of this, the maximum eclipse, 12:12, going into early Monday morning. And maybe you don't have school on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, so you can actually stay up and watch this or work. Total eclipse ends at 12:43, and then that partial eclipse ends there at 1:50. So you don't have to stay up till 1:50 to see this, but the maximum eclipse will be just after midnight going into Monday morning. So something maybe to look forward to if you're into that. The weather's actually going to be nice for us to see this. But I want to give an update again briefly on what is going on here. 3-day forecast wise, that 90% chance really should bump it up to 100 here. This is before sunrise. We actually will see plenty of sunshine in the afternoon on our Sunday, Monday, Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Temperatures in the morning near freezing. Wind chills Monday morning will be in the 20s. It's going to be very chilly Monday morning, so if you're going to the parade in downtown Savannah, just dress for it. It's going to be very cold out there. You might even want to get some gloves or a beanie. And then we warm up a little bit. Still cold on Tuesday morning, not as cold, and then we're back in the 50s for our Tuesday afternoon. Rest of the week, we do have another rain chance coming in after the overnight chance for tonight. Loading up here and expanding this. Wednesday, Thursday, pretty good rain chance again, and we're all the way back up on this temperature roller coaster to 70 for the middle of the week. Not as good of a rain chance as we go into this coming weekend, which is good news, but then of course we cool back in, back behind this front once again. Coldest air out of the next week, though, will be Monday morning. So if you have questions, I didn't get to those, I would love to answer them. Just shoot me a message, comment on this video here on Facebook. If you're not watching on Facebook, you can find my Facebook page, just Andrew Gorton. I'd love to answer those for you. Look for updates in the WTOC weather app. I'll have another video in there. There's one now that details pretty much what I just said, except in a minute. And we'll have more videos coming out later this evening as needed. I hope you have a good evening. Just make sure you have the alerts turned on for that lightning risk tonight and the off chance that there is a stronger storm. Have a good evening, and we'll be back for the news at 11.